Okay, for those of you watching in the future, I've said it before, I will say it again. Do not panic at support. Do not panic at support. And I've talked about this in multiple videos, multiple times, the 20-week simple moving average for Bitcoin. We can wick below there. We can have some daily closes below there. But every post-halving year, it ends up being support. And so is this time different? Statistically, your chances of this time being different are pretty low. But sure, it could happen. It could happen. It may be that this time's different, but I'm not going to make that decision that this time's different at support. Okay. And then, all right, Ethereum. Hello, Izzy and Leonard. I'm mostly delivering a message to those watching this live stream in the future. But all right, I'm going live on TikTok, WWBTC5. Now, Ethereum. Oh no, Ethereum lost support. It went below where it's gone. Oh no, it went down as low as what? 39.30. Oh no. Oh no. Watch my Ethereum update from yesterday. Now again, maybe this is the beginning of the end. Maybe. But I did call for a spring moment in a Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic where Ethereum would go under $4,000. So maybe this is just that playing itself out. I don't know. You know, when boom shakalaka. Yeah, what did I say boom shakalaka for in that one video? I forgot. I think it was just like crypto's holding support. So here's another thing that I'll point out. Market manipulation. What's going on with market? Are we going up this year? All right. Let me say hello to everyone first. Okay. And I know I'm going to have to say this multiple times, you know, I'm just going to have to just like absorb your tears and all that. Hello Max and hello Maggie. Maggle, excuse me. Yeah. Maggle, my bad. I lost my train. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, Ethereum and Bitcoin both put in new lows for the last couple of weeks at least, but a lot of other altcoins like Avalanche, for example, did not go lower than where it went on Monday. A lot of the cryptos that matter, a lot of them, Bitcoin Cash doesn't count. Let me try to find some like top 50 cryptos. A lot of them did not go lower than where they went on Monday. Dogecoin actually did, now that I'm looking at that. So let me actually find something that supports that thesis before I go run my mouth about that. All right, never mind. So some of them did. The ones that I'm holding did not go lower than where they went on Monday, like near. So, but ETH and Bitcoin did. Solana cooked? No. XRP did not. There's another one. I don't think it did. No, it didn't come close to its bottom on Monday. Solana cooked. Get out of here, man. 202. This is, I wouldn't be surprised if right now it was a wick. Please don't spam. Come on, man. If this move below 206 was just a wick and that this was a good time to be buying Solana, it hasn't even put in a lower low. You know, it's in an uptrend still. Solana new all-time high this year. Yes. As of right now, that's what I think. Do you think we're still going up this year? Yes. Out of curiosity, do you use crypto miners? No. I buy stocks in crypto miners. I trade crypto miners. What was I just going to say? I was just going to say something. I don't know. But, all right, I'm live on TikTok. Did Sui go lower than where it went on Monday? Yes, it did. All right, it could be just a back test of that trend line. So we do have some cryptos that have gone lower than where they went on Monday, others that did not. So forget about Polkadot. Polkadot just bounced off a trend line. Guys, here's what I was going to say. Watch my most recent YouTube video. All right, I laid out a very compelling case that it doesn't make sense for us to go down from here. It doesn't. And I look at things that a lot of other people don't look at. Did you guys know? All right, I'm not one of those M2 guys, right? You saw all those charts from earlier this year, from like April, May, pointing out a correlation between Bitcoin and M2, calling for Bitcoin to go to 130,000 in June, 140,000 in July, 175,000 in August. I thought that was absolute nonsense. I thought that was garbage, and you should have unfollowed anyone who was claiming that was going to happen. But I laid out a chart. I showed a chart showing where M2 is going. M2 is going vertical right now. Okay, so it's not that there's a zero correlation. There's actually a very strong correlation between gold and M2. Hello, bull. So gold and M2 is very correlated, but so gold is going crazy right now. But what happens pretty much every time after gold stops going crazy, after it then consolidates, is that Bitcoin then runs. And so then Bitcoin will catch up a little bit to M2 while gold kind of cools off. So that's number one. Number two, I shared this chart, the Nikkei Japan. The Nikkei is in price discovery right now. It finally broke an all-time high after a 36-year wait. And if you know anything about the Nikkei, if you know anything about what's going on in Japan, if Japan is going to have this irrational pump right now, how much more so that Bitcoin would have that not Bitcoin. I mean, yes, Bitcoin, but that the U.S. stock market would have an irrational pump, and that we'd be repeating 1999 basically. My goodness, that's insane to me. It's insane to me that anyone would buy any Japanese stock given what's going on in their bond market, and yet the Japanese stock market's in price discovery. How much more so the United States? And if the United States stock market is gonna go insane, which I think it is, then crypto, especially the Russell 2000, it's like on the line here. It's ready to break out. You think crypto is just going to do nothing or go down? All right, that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, XRP entry under 280. You got it on Monday. I don't think so now. I mean, sure, it's possible. Thank you, Luxury Cigar Reviewer. Let's see. It's always possible. Let me get to XRP. XRP was one of those that actually went lower. It went a lot lower on Monday. It went down under 270 briefly. So now it's 285. It already went under 280 today. Looks like we might be recovering. So sure, you want to set a limit order under 280, knock yourself out. I woke up this morning, I saw Ethereum under $4,000. I bought $2,000 worth of Ethereum. My goal is to just make a couple $100 off that trade. I think I will. So did you enter any longs? No, I just bought, that's all that I did. I bought $2,000 worth of Ethereum. VeChain went lower than Monday. Yeah, so my thesis for what I was saying was not quite. Yeah, so VeChain went lower than Monday. A fair amount of them did now that I'm looking at it. So final shakeout before the fireworks. Sure, man. I mean, again, Bitcoin is at the 20-week SMA. I've talked about the importance of the 20-week SMA. Yeah, my favorite coin, DAW, is holding up okay. I see that. DAW, it bounced off this trend line that it's been holding, performing higher lows since June. All right, we don't need to, JN, don't need to call out all the cryptos. I've looked at lots of them that I'm like, okay, more of them are lower than Monday than I thought. So let's see. Hello, Hafiz. Why market crashing? Market go up, market go down. That's why. So let's see. Think Arrow could get to $2 around October. Arrow's struggling right now. An entry at 98 cents. That's kind of where I'm looking to enter Arrow. It's pretty close right now. I'll probably set that as a limit order. It got up to 160. It could get to 2. But hey, let's reverse this. Thank you, JN. ETH entry for spot 3770 or lower. Anything's possible, but I again with Ethereum, watch my ETH video that I made yesterday. I talked about a possible a spring scenario on a Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. A spring scenario is a scenario where things it just feels like it's over. You know, it's just that final manipulative shakeout move to get you all terrified, thinking that it's over, thinking you got to run for the hills. And I called, looking at the chart, I was like, this looks very Wyckoff reaccumulation E. I think in September we could see Ethereum go under $4,000. And that's what happened. You know, I didn't think it was going to be today, but here we are. Now, I mean, did you see they revised GDP up for this quarter? The Atlanta Fed revised their GDP projection up for this quarter. Davo, thank you. So Russell got smoked today. I wouldn't say it got smoked. I'm looking at it. It bounced off the 20-day EMA. That's all it's doing right now. I would not say it got smoked. Unfortunately, our guy Blockchain Backer said he pulled his money out because he said it can go either way. Mandy, that's not a great representation of what he did. He sold a third of his crypto, and he only sold his crypto that had matured to long-term holdings. So, yes, it can go either way. But he also said the risk to reward is in our favor. Do you believe there is an alt season? I believe that we are in the process of a movement in altcoins outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. Whether that's alt season, you must be new to this channel, or whether that's an opportunity to make money in altcoins. Pengu, your thoughts? Meme coins, including Pengu. I love Pengu. I think Pengu's going to do very well. But they're not the play right now. What's happened to HEEHEE? What's happening to every other meme coin is what's happened to HEEHEE. Thoughts on Coinbase lending with Morpho at 10.7%? I don't pay attention to stuff like that. But let me look at the Morpho chart. It's not one that I'd be interested in buying. Doesn't look so good. So people are panic selling while I'm panic buying. Hey, good for you. Like I said, I bought $2,000 of Ethereum today. Hoping to make a few $100 on it. Alex, are we cooked? There we go. There's that question, and I will not. I will never declare that we are cooked at support. We are at support. A lot of these cryptos are at support. Do not panic sell at support. Ondo's at support. I don't look at Neo all that much. What's up with Neo? Neo just looks terrible. Polkadot's at support. The cryptos that matter are at support. So many Twitter calls are now bearish thoughts. There was a time, I mentioned this in a YouTube video a while ago. I don't remember when I said this, but there is a sentiment. There was a tool that measures Twitter sentiment. And I wish I remembered the name of it. I wish I would be able to find it. I can't find it. But what it showed is like, at bottoms, KOLs on Twitter are very bearish, and at peaks they're very bullish. And so you're telling me that Twitter calls are bearish. That tempts me to buy crypto. I'm tempted to buy crypto hearing that. IP, are you familiar with it? I'll pull it up, JY. I'm not super familiar with it. It's it kind of came out of nowhere. Oh man. So it looks like it's coming back down to earth. Last few days have been terrible. I mean, if I looked at this 4 days ago, I would have been like, don't buy that. It's too green. Needs to come back down to earth. It did bounce off the 50-day EMA. maybe there's a level of liquidity here that it would be a good entry, but I'm not touching it. So will gold have to slow down to help crypto market? Gold will slow down at some point, but it's on gold's timeline. Gold moves a lot slower than crypto. Is VET still your number one? I mean, my number one what? You know, is it my number one choice that if I had to, like, I absolutely had to double my money and I could only put it in one crypto, I would say VeChain would be that choice. Now, the chart doesn't look good, but, you know, downside worst case scenario would go under 2 cents. And then I would feel a lot more confident, much more confident about VeChain doubling from there. We going down more. Listen, I'm not going to keep answering that question. Holding the best coins from June. Can I make X's? What coins? What coins are you talking about? I don't know. Itachi, you're asking some really dumb money questions. CZ said, don't sell the dips. I don't listen to CZ. What's the play right now? Everyone's terrified, right? I mean, it sounds like a lot of people here are really scared. I like to buy when people are scared. Like I said, I bought $2,000 of Ethereum today. I have a stop loss at $3,600. You know, if it gets there, so be it. I don't think it will. I think I'll make money off of that. Need 100x leverage during alt season to break even. Oh, man. The sentiment is the same as pre-election last year. Yeah, September, people were pretty down in September and even early October of last year. I remember that. There is no major election this year. Is Aerodrome at support? Like I said, 98 cents is my entry that I will set after this live stream. Others chart broke a trend line. Oh, let's look at that. I wish I could show you that, but TikTok isn't happy about that. All right, what's the trend line? What's the trend line? I see a trend line. I'm going to draw and okay, you could say that it is right now under that trend line. If I'm drawing the same trend line that maybe you might have seen from somebody else, it is right now under that trend line, but you don't say it broke the trend line when it could just be a wick. That's the thing. It could just be a wick. And given the slope of the trend line and given the fact that it's still in an uptrend by definition, and given the fact that it's a pretty new trend line, I'm not too concerned about it right now. So I feel like Aerodrome lost support. I called for Aerodrome to go to certain levels, and it has not gotten to those levels. So in Coinbase, you can lend your money into a Morpho Vault, and they pay 10.7%. Oh, okay. I like that. That sounds good. Yeah, 10.7%. You know, if we can actually like make some life-changing gains or some decent gains, you know, what's $100,000 into a Morpho Vault? You know, that's 10 grand a year. I'll take that. Even if you were to round trip everything, if you keep good projects in your portfolio, you'll be fine. Yeah, sure. Some people say Bitcoin won't go under 90K ever again. Do you agree? Absolutely not. No. Bitcoin will go under 90K. The question is when. Oh my goodness, no. I strongly disagree with that. All right, let's see. Can you check Uni? It might be okay. It might be a good time to get in on Uniswap. It's right at the 200-day moving average and a level of support that I had my eyes on, $7.86. It has wicked below there. Maybe that's going to turn into resistance, but right now I like my chances with Uniswap. So we'll go. All right, I answered that. Let's see. Thank you, Luxury Cigar Reviewer. Ben thinks Ethereum to 3,500 before sending off. I thought it was like 3,100. Where's the? Oh, you know what? Maybe it is 3,500. Yeah, I thought he said, so when I first heard 3,100 and I was like, nah, I'm not on board with that. But I think it was like the bull market support band was what he was looking at. I can see a world where Ethereum would get to 3,500, but I could see a scenario where it is a spring moment on a Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. And then, but you know, that's where Ethereum would go to $3,500. But you put a gun to my head, I don't think so. Long time anything new with HEEHEE, Fat Cat, and Solnick? No. Juna, now's not the time to introduce anything new. You know, it's funny, on that subject, there was this big meme coin launch on Tuesday of this week. This is just the state of the market with meme coins right now. It'll change. But there was this big meme coin launch, like all the KOLs were involved, and it was going to be huge. I was told about it. I was told that just this team, their plan, it's incredible. You got to get in. And I saw it, the moment I saw it, it launched, and it got up to a $6 million market cap. And then from there, like that was like at the launch, it got to 6 million. And then it kind of climbed up to $7 million, and then it dumped. And that is, even with the best strategy, even with deepest pockets, even with everything perfectly in place, that is the state of the meme coin market right now. So anything new with HEEHEE, Fat Cat, and Solnick, we're going to weather the storm. That's what we're going to do. Market top signal when Alex gets really short-tempered with chat. Am I doing that right now, C Machinery? I don't think I am. Wait, so I don't know what to make of you, man. I'm done with crypto, back on the stock market. Okay. Maybe that's the right play. I mean, if you, most of you, I think if you bought stocks in 2021, you'd probably be much better off right now. I'm in a fortunate position where, like, given the amount of money I started with in 2021, or 2024, excuse me, I meant to say 2024, that I'm in a much better position because of crypto, because of the gains I've made with crypto. Hasn't been the case as much in 2025, but if you combine 2024 and 2025, then yes. So Ondo is at support. Itachi, you're asking me about 5 different cryptos. I'm not going to spend time talking about 5 different cryptos. How do you buy Ethereum under the spot? Under the spot, what do you mean? I bought it at spot price. Stock market was the play for 2025, not so much crypto. You're right. Yep. Still believe big money will flow into crypto Q4. I believe money will flow into crypto. All right, drew up myself. Yes, it's not a body close yet. Okay, Ondo over Arrow. I'll say yes to that, I guess. When are you selling your altcoins? Not anytime soon. Cut it up. Thanks for the follow. Bought a bunch of Bitmine this morning. What's Bitmine? Never heard of it. Do you believe Q4 will give us a decent rally in crypto like Bitcoin 140-ish? I could see 140. Yeah. Russell bouncing off 50-day moving average. I saw, what did I see with the Russell? I see the 20-day EMA. It's not anywhere near the 50-day moving average. 20-day EMA. Somebody said Russell tanked today. No, 20-day EMA. Doge, please. Doge looks all right. 23 cents. Bouncing off the 100-day EMA. Still in higher low territory. So we'll see about Doge. When is it time to short Aster? I have no idea. I would wait for it to see like a clear lower move on ASTR. Like there's this one that pumped really hard over the last couple of weeks. MYX. I wouldn't touch that. Do you still believe super alt season? When did I ever believe that? Juna. I believe in a move in altcoins. Let's see. All right, I can't keep up on TikTok. I'm sorry. What happened to Crow? Guzman. What happened to Crow? Let me tell you what happened to Crow. I called for it to go under 20 cents, and now it's under 20 cents. That's what happened to Crow. Support right now. If it goes lower, does your opinion change for Q4? I think something drastic. As long as we're still in the month of September, I'm not going to. October is when I would change my outlook, not September. Sandbox is trash, man. Metaverse? Yeah, I mean, it's just long time range, hasn't really done anything. Thoughts on PopCap? My average is 40 cents. That's I mean, it's not a good average because it's at 21 cents right now. And I really don't see much hope for PopCat short term. You know, a lot of meme coins, just a lot of these charts look really bad. Now, again, we see a rotation happen. We see a rotation from, right now, Total 3 is outperforming Ethereum. So if we see a rotation from, we're starting to see that rotation to Total 3, to altcoins not named Ethereum. And then if we see a rotation to smaller caps and meme coins, then yeah, I think PopCat can do well. But I don't know what to say to you. I'm not going to say to sell and buy back in. I'd be tempted to just cut the cord entirely. Highest conviction play for best returns Q4, or what's your biggest bag other than Bitcoin or HEEHEE? I loaded up a lot on Avalanche lately. So I'll say Avalanche. Good call on Crow. Thank you. What do you think about BMNR? Never heard of it. Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Is that like... I'm going to have to pass on that. Can you define an altcoin for a newbie? When you hear me say altcoins, I mean any crypto that claims to have utility other than Bitcoin. That's what I mean when I say altcoins. I swear people just look at daily crypto bubbles and not look at charts on TradingView. Yeah, I rarely ever look at crypto bubbles. When I go to crypto bubbles, I'm looking for a crypto to short. I'm looking for a crypto that's up like big time so that I can short it. I don't go, that's the, I look at charts on TradingView. Thoughts on Near? Near's holding up well, and I like Near right now, yeah. Now, I like the chart. I don't like the crypto all that much, but I like the chart. Gold is up over 25% this year, and Bitcoin is up 2% in the bull year. Concerning. It's up 2% from its yearly open. That's it. Now, is it concerning? I'm not as concerned as you are. I've talked a lot about this. I've talked about 2025 being a rough year. Now, I don't know what to say other than earlier in this live stream, I did say that, what did I say? Oh yeah. Gold pumps, and then it chops, and then Bitcoin pumps, So let's see what the end of this year looks like. And I'm not concerned at all that gold is up 25. Well, no, I'm very concerned that gold is up 25%. But my concern is not with Bitcoin. My concern's with the dollar, because that's a telling thing to say about the U.S. dollar. It's like gold is gold. When what we should think about gold is like that's the stable coin. All right, so if gold is exploding, that's communicating to you something else about the market. So that's my thoughts on gold. Sorry, I'm missing so much. It's rotational, yeah. Thoughts on sell and buy back? Thank you very much. Yeah, ask that question on a green day. Ask that question Not on a red day, because that's dumb. That's what dumb people do. They sell at the bottom thinking it's going to go lower. And I'm not calling bottom right now, but lots of cryptos are at support. But they convince themselves on a red day at the peak of fear that they're going to sell and buy back in lower. And that's a recipe for just getting sidelined. And I have made that mistake before, okay? I've made that mistake. I've made that mistake in 2025. It's very difficult. But I've also made the right move plenty of times, which is like, I see profits, I take profits. So, no, you don't sell right now. Guys, please. Sell when it's green. But you never want to sell when it's green. Yeah, sell at support. Business cycle isn't here, so no alt season. The business cycle is actually flowing back positive. All right. So, but I agree with you in one regard, AI Fabulous. People are asking me when alt season, when my 100x gains. And there are certain things, certain charts that I can look at that you could make a compelling case that would be soon. But it's not, the big thing that makes me say it's not going to be like 2018 or 2021, early 2018 or 2021, is at those times, the stars aligned beautifully for this big explosive alt season. And we don't have the stars aligning right now to that extent, which is why I tend to prefer yes, altcoins can and will do well, but not this mind-blowing 2018 alt season level. This is the final flush out. It might be. Thank you, Miss Stardust. OVPP thoughts? I still haven't looked into OVPP, but I am down with OPP. Oh, whoo! Woo! Look, I'm looking at a chart here. If you bought into OPP or OVPP, excuse me, I'm sorry. That looks like a pump and dump. It looks like a rug pull. I'm not saying it is, but it looks like one. Buy when it's red and sell when it's green. Not the time to sell. Be patient. Don't let fear get to you. One good point is the fear and greed index at 40. Yeah. I mean, fear and greed index, it's not really something I care about. One thing I do care about is Bitcoin's RSI. I'm surprised it's not lower than where it is right now. So it's at 41.89. When we are in an uptrend or in a bull market, which I would still, yes, oh no, Bitcoin's at $111,000. I would still define this as a bull market. When we are in a bull market, Bitcoin tends to bottom when its RSI is at 40, around 40. Right now it's at 41.89. Earlier in September or late August, it went down to 37.54. So, around 40. Bitcoin is right now, wicked below the 20-week simple moving average. I feel like a broken record saying this. Every post-halving September, Bitcoin goes down to the 20-week simple moving average and holds it as support. Is this time different? It could be different. It could be different. But I would hope that I'm laying out a compelling case that the odds are in your favor if you buy now and you do not sell. I remember 2021 in September, Bitcoin went down to the 20-week simple moving average and it hung out there for about a week. Bitcoin's price briefly went under $40,000. And people thought that I was insane for calling for Bitcoin to go to $60,000 in October. And they were like, no, some people were like, it's over. What are you talking about? And I called for Bitcoin to go to $60,000 in October, and it went to 65 in October. That kind of thing is unimaginable right now. And I'm telling you, that kind of thing in 2021 was unimaginable. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh, yes, Bitcoin's going to 130, 140 in October, but I am expecting October to be a bullish month. Is Solana a good buy now? I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good buy. You know, the 786 retrace is where it's under that right now, but I think it's just going to be a wick. We'll see. It's still in an uptrend. OPP sounds like a song from back in the days. That's what I think of when I see OVPP. Is, you know, you're down with OPP, now you know me. RSR. Cooked LOL. Yeah, we're so cooked. RSR. You know, sure, could there be a dead cat bounce or something here? But like, I'm not catching a falling knife. RSR is a falling knife. Man, I keep... When us buying Bitcoin today. Zhao Wedson just posted he's buying Ethereum Classic and ADA. Those aren't bad choices, I don't think. Yeah. ICP getting close to my $4 buy area. Man. Yeah, so ICP, that was a miss for me. Man, it's wicked below. It's put in a new low since when? Since late 2023. Man. I almost bought the top because of FOMO. Bullish divergence on most large caps. Oh, you might be onto something there. Let me look at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin and let me look at the RSI real quick. Yeah. That's a really good point. So RSI on the 4-hour, bullish divergence on Bitcoin at least. Yeah, price put in a lower low. Man, so that's another compelling reason. I'm just telling you guys, if anything, just do not sell right now. This actually, I mean, I'm looking at Bitcoin's RSI compared to its price, looking at this bullish divergence. And this is a very compelling chart. A very compelling reason to buy Bitcoin right now. Now let me look at stocks breaking out while crypto dumping. LOL. Sure, man. You know, earlier this year, crypto was actually doing pretty well while stocks were dumping. It happens. Let me look at the 4-hour chart for Ethereum. Same deal. Yeah, same deal. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart for Ethereum. And man, on the 4-hour chart, ETH got way oversold. Now, I don't really care about oversold, overbought. I do care a lot about divergences, though. And this is a bullish divergence on Bitcoin, on Ethereum. Divergences matter a lot. They matter a lot more than just RSI. So why would you sell at the moment? Because people are afraid. Yeah, it's dumb to sell right now. But I know people are tempted to sell. I bought more ETH last night. I bought some this morning. What about Pole, ASI, or Jasmine? Let me look at Polygon. Polygon's been terrible last week, and I bought some last week. So I'm down on that. I'm not going to look at all of those. But, all right, 4-hour RSI. Okay, for some reason, oh, never mind. There it is. Okay, give me a second. I'm guessing this is a bearish divergence. Let me see. Yes. So there's another one. I wouldn't be surprised if like almost every crypto that's put in a lower low since Monday has also put in a bullish divergence. I bought more. Yeah. All right. Let's see. ETH has underperformed so much though. Yeah. I mean, I said that. I'm sorry, man. Like, I showed you guys the peak for Ethereum versus altcoins. We already hit it. We hit it like 3 weeks ago. We hit it on August 24th. I've shown you guys that chart. So yes, of course ETH has underperformed. But like, I have no problem. I'd rather buy something that's going to be less volatile and make a few $100. You know, I bought $2,000 of Ethereum. I'm seriously, I'm literally just buying. I bought that so that I could make a couple $100. That's it. I'm okay with that. If you look at numbers, ETH is bad. Correct. It seems like Bitcoin pumps after gold. Gold is pumping. Yeah, I already said that. Yep. Is AOS a good buy right now? No. I mean, sure. You know, you want to buy some AOs in after like 5 of 6 straight red days. I would say go ahead, but I've already made a case multiple times that AOs is that these older AI cryptos, they already had their 100Xs. I'm not touching any of them. Newer AI ones, I'm okay with. The older AI ones that like from their bear market bottom in 2022, they've exploded. And you know, people, if anyone's still holding from the bear market bottom, they're still up huge. No, thank you. No, I don't want that. All right, price on a more realistic long price on Uniswap. I did already look at on Uniswap. Believe it or not, somebody else foregone asked me that question, and I don't know what to say to you. So, all right, I said $7.86. You're probably looking at the chart and being like, "Oh no, it's under $7.86. That must be a terrible price to enter." I would say risk to reward is in your favor right now to long Uniswap. That this can very much just end up being a wick or a false breakdown of this level. So that is the price for Uniswap that I'm giving you now. I FOMO Crow, now I DCA again and again and again. Should have listened to me. Look at ADA. So bullish on ADA right now. Man, I mean, just looking at these divergences on the 4-hour chart, like I'm very excited about buying. Like I'd be buying crypto right now. Another one. I mean, it's a little bit. It's not as dramatic as Bitcoin. I'll give you that. But yes, there is a bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart for Cardano. Like it's just if there's any theme from this live stream, bullish divergences everywhere. That's your theme. So, you know, do you want to do a smart money thing right now? And I'm not talking about buying. I'm not talking about buying and hodling. Okay. I'm talking about making gains now. This is what you should do, not financial advice. This is strictly looking at the chart. You should buy. But, you know, I mean, I'm lettuce hands. I am the king of paper hands. Paper is too thick of a substance for me. Like, sure, maybe this is the ideal time to buy, but I'm just here to make money. I'm just here to make gains, you know? So what you gonna do? Chainlink. Well, yeah, ETH barely broke all-time high, if you even want to count that. I'm not looking at ETH in price. I'm looking at ETH in comparison to other cryptos. Chainlink and Tau. Let me see. All I'm going to do is look to see if there's a bullish divergence on Chainlink and Tau. All right. We still on the 4-hour chart? No. Chainlink. Chainlink did not put in a lower low. So, you know, RSI went much lower. By definition, you can't call that a bullish divergence, but still. Let's see, did Tau put in a lower low? Tau did. And RSI is taking time to load. RSI, bullish divergence on Tau. Another one that, not financial advice, you know. Not financial advice, guys. If I say that enough, I got the sprinkle on me, right? Getting slaughtered on Jasby at the moment. Have you opinion where it might go? Oh, man. So, all right, Jasmy closed yesterday at a level of support, below a level of support. It is right now, it might be that was just a false breakdown of that level. And right now, it's right at that level. So hopefully it's going to recover that. Maybe this is a bottom. And let me look at, yep, wouldn't you know it? A bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart. It makes sense to buy crypto right now, guys. That's all I can say. You know, a large majority of cryptos, it makes sense to buy them right now. Zora. Sure, I'll check Zora. I don't even know what Zora is. I wouldn't touch it. I'm assuming this is a small market cap crypto. No, thank you. Sorry, I don't have anything to say about this. So you think it was the last big dip this year? I did not say that. I did not say that. All that I am saying is that looking at these charts, it makes sense to buy right now. Brett looks good. Ooh. No. And again, it's a meme coin. I'm a little bit more cautious on meme coins right now. It did put in a bullish divergence. And yeah, DevTuber Sui did put in a bullish divergence. Sui looks pretty good right now too. Avalanche did not put in a lower low. So following a bullish divergence on the H4, or are you watching for the same on higher time frames? I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these cryptos on the daily time frame were also showing bullish divergences. I prefer, all right, so not, that's Brett. Who cares about Brett? I prefer the 4-hour when I look at divergences. So let me just look at what's something, Dogecoin, for example. Come on and load, please. Stupid TradingView. I like TradingView. Yeah, bullish divergence on that's the 4-hour. Let's look at the daily. Sorry, my chart's loading slowly on not on the daily. So not on the daily for Dogecoin at least. Let me look at Bitcoin. Yes, for Bitcoin. That's what matters. All right. Entry for Rismus. I'm not going to look at a Rismus chart right now, but I'm not surprised at all given how scorching hot it got in August. I remember somewhere around $4.5 million from market cap. Thoughts on Toshi? Meme coins, not the play right now. That's all I'll say. Thoughts on tomorrow's PCE reading? Don't really have any. Yeah, no thoughts. I'm done with being nervous about reports for September. We've already had the unemployment report, CPI, PPI. I'm good. The rate cuts. I'm just gonna I'll respond to the charts. Do not take a shot every time you hear a bullish divergence. You mean short? Oh, do not take a shot. I see what you're saying. Can you look at Melania? Why would I look at Melania? I once looked at Melania on TradingView, and literally on the day that I looked at it, there was less than $1 of buys that day. Oh my goodness. That's insane to me. Is the dip pure manipulation? Um, what would we call this manipulation? Here's what I think. I think a lot of traders were looking at what I mentioned in my ETH video yesterday about the Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic, the spring moment, and that they were not going to buy Ethereum or long Ethereum until they saw it under $4,000. So very little buying pressure, and even that they were going to work to bring it under $4,000. So that's what I think happened. You want to call that manipulation? There's manipulation everywhere. AVAX, please. I've talked about AVAX a ton, Jamie. It's probably my number one play right now. Chris and Brian, thanks for the follow. GRT price target, no thank you. I don't have one. I'm not in love with the graph, especially right now. Proppy, I'm assuming I'm preparing myself for a terrible looking chart. It doesn't look as bad as I thought, but I still wouldn't touch it. Not yet. Again, for me, it's top 50 cryptos. That's all I'm touching. And even right, so I usually say in some meme coin plays, but like not right now. I mean, we got to get out of the gutter. So for me, it would be top 50. Now there's some meme coins that I'm still holding, trying to weather the storm. Are you bullish on Q4? Lots of ETFs to be approved. I'm just bullish on Q4. You said ETH would drop just under 4K, and it did. It could go lower. It could certainly go lower than 4K, than where it's gone, and still be a spring. I mean, the big thing that sticks out to me is we've done a Wyckoff reaccumulation. We did that from May until late June, and Ethereum was holding a floor at like $2,400. And then it went all the way down. It went almost to $2,100. That's a huge drop. So, if we're thinking that like 4,100 would be the floor, and it did something similar to that, then that would mean that ETH could go down to 3,800. Maybe it would back test this a 4-year trend line. That's at like 3,800. But I'm not. No, Wyckoff reaccumulation, the spring moment of a Wyckoff reaccumulation is not a time that I'd be interested in selling. What gives you confidence in AVAX, the chart, and it's a very large cap crypto that, has finally shown some signs of life. And it has very much underperformed a lot of other, volumes picked up a lot. AVAX has near zero utility. That's a large majority of cryptos. I don't care. I'm here to make money. HBAR is 100x better. The chart is not better. That's all that I care about. The chart for AVAX is way better than HBAR. USDT dominance thoughts. Let me look at that. I would say if this was an individual crypto, I would say it's bullish. Now things can change on a dime. So maybe it'll get up to the 200-day. Or this is just a triple top, 200 days at 4.76%, it's at 4.6%. Is it the exchanges dumping or ETFs? It's not just ETFs, but like there's been a fair amount of outflows for Ethereum the last few days. For Bitcoin, yesterday was actually an inflow day. I would say it's for Bitcoin. I noticed it was sharks. It was like the thing smaller than whales. So. All right, guys, I'm at the point of the live stream where we're getting pretty redundant or very redundant. So I'm going to have to be done with this live stream. Again, now's not the time to sell. Sell on green days, not financial advice. But I'll see you next time.